For centuries, a hidden financial blueprint has existed. It's not taught on Wall Street, it doesn't follow market cycles, and yet, right now, it's multiplying wealth for those who understand it. This is the system behind empires like Chick-fil-A and Hobby Lobby, companies that thrive not because they chase trends, but because they honor timeless principles. Today, you will discover the 8 unbreakable principles of kingdom multiplication, principles that can transform your finances, your mindset, and your future. These aren't theories, they are spiritual truths tested across generations, proven in scripture, and demonstrated in modern business. And if you apply them, they will activate increase in your life, starting now. Principle 1. Stewardship over ownership. Psalm 24 verse 1 declares, "The earth is the Lord's and everything in it." That means your bank account, His. Your talents, His. Your opportunities, His. This isn't about loss, it's about liberation. The moment you move from owner to steward, the fear of scarcity shatters. Ownership breeds anxiety. What if I lose it? What if it's not enough? But stewardship breeds confidence. I'm managing resources for the King of Kings. Think of yourself not as a lonely guard protecting a tiny fort, but as a trusted CEO managing a divine empire. Your first question changes from, "How do I keep mine?" to, "How would the owner want this used?" That shift is the foundation of everything that follows. Principle 2. Seedtime and Harvest. Genesis 8:22 promises, "Seed time and harvest shall not cease." This is the rhythm of the universe. Every resource you touch, money, time, influence, is a seed. The world screams, "Consume, spend it now, protect what's yours." But the principle of multiplication whispers, "Plant." You never reap just the seed, you reap a harvest. One acorn becomes a forest. One act of generosity becomes a legacy. When you plant your resources, whether through saving, investing, or giving, you are declaring trust in a coming harvest. You are saying, "I believe increase is inevitable." That mindset separates those who multiply from those who merely survive. Principle 3. Faithful action. Remember the parable of the talents in Matthew 25? The master entrusted 3 servants with resources. 2 invested and doubled their share. 1 buried his talent in fear and lost it. Here's the hard truth. God does not multiply what you hide. He multiplies what you put to work. Stewardship is not passive, it's proactive wisdom. It's creating a budget, seeking knowledge, taking calculated risks, and moving forward in faith. Multiplication requires movement. Are you investing your talents, or are you digging a hole? Fear will always whisper, "Play it safe." Faith says, "Step out." The servants who acted heard the words every believer longs for. "Well done, good and faithful servant." Principle 4. Generosity as the accelerator. 2 Corinthians 9:6 says, "He who sows sparingly will reap sparingly, and he who sows bountifully will reap bountifully." Generosity is not subtraction, it's acceleration. Chick-fil-A pours millions into scholarships for employees. Hobby Lobby channels profits into ministries and cultural projects. These companies aren't losing, they're leveraging. Their giving is not charity, it's strategy. When you give, you're not spending, you're sowing into a guaranteed harvest. Every act of generosity is a seed planted in fertile soil. You are literally funding your own future increase. Principle 5. Obedience unlocks miracles. Logic will always fight multiplication. In 2 Kings 4, a widow had only 1 jar of oil. Elisha told her to pour it into borrowed jars. Physically, it made no sense, but obedience triggered a miracle. The oil flowed until every jar was full. Principle 5 is simple. Multiplication happens on the other side of obedience. It's the leap before the net appears. It's pouring out the last of your oil. It's starting the business, giving the gift, or taking the step, even when it feels risky. The miracle is in the pouring, not the preserving. If you cling to your jar, you stay in scarcity. If you pour it out in obedience, you step into abundance. Principle 6. Bring your little and watch him make it much. John 6 tells of a boy with 5 loaves and 2 fish, insignificant for thousands, but in Jesus' hands, it became more than enough, with leftovers. Principle 6. Bring your little and watch him make it much. Stop waiting for the perfect amount, the perfect time, the perfect skill. Offer what you have now, your savings, your idea, your time. Place it in his hands. That's the catalyst. God isn't asking for what you don't have. He's asking for what's already in your hand. A widow gave 2 coins. David carried 5 stones. None had abundance, but all had availability. And availability is the key to multiplication. Principle 7. Partnership with God. Deuteronomy 8:18 says, "It is He who gives you the ability to produce wealth. Your skill, His gift. Your opportunity, His opening." Principle 7 means you are not alone in this journey. You are in a strategic partnership with the Creator of wealth. Your role is faithful diligence. His role is supernatural increase. This is the secret of legacy brands that honor God. They aren't just running businesses, they're co-laboring in a divine mission. When you acknowledge God as the source, you stop striving and start stewarding. You stop stressing and start trusting. Principle 8. Expect increase. Psalm 115:14 promises, "The Lord shall increase you more and more, you and your children." This isn't positive thinking. It's aligning your mindset with God's nature, which is always to grow, expand, and multiply. When you steward, sow, obey, and partner, you are positioning yourself inside the ecosystem of increase. Expect it, prepare for it, speak it. Your small, faithful beginning is destined for great increase. Scarcity is not your final chapter. Multiplication is. Pulling it all together, the system is now clear. You are a steward, not an owner. Your resources are seeds, not rations. Your obedience is the trigger. Your generosity is the engine. And you are in partnership with God Himself. This isn't theory. It's the blueprint God has been using since the beginning. So, here's your move. Identify one seed you can plant this week, one act of faithful stewardship, one step of obedient generosity, and plant it. Then watch. The harvest is coming. If this unlocked a new mindset for you, hit like. It tells the algorithm this message matters. Subscribe for more practical wisdom, and most importantly, share this video with one person who needs to see their finances through the lens of multiplication. Because when you align with heaven's economy, scarcity doesn't get the final word. Increase does.